Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga Texas construction update video.
Well, hey everybody, I'm back out another Friday here at Giga Texas. There is no production going on today that I could tell. If it is, it's very, very light. But over at the Outbound lot, they are still busy. The end of line is still processing some of the vehicles and they are preparing them for shipping out. The lot is reasonably full, so I think that we're going to see a lot of transports this weekend. Now, if you are thinking about buying a Tesla or any EV, your time is running out if you want to get the $7,500 EV tax credit from the government. That runs out at the end of the month, and there's debate on whether or not you need to take delivery before the end of the month or you just have to order. In any case, time is running out, so I suggest that you take advantage of that now if that is something that you are thinking about. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about on the site here first, and then a couple of news items, is over on the far southwest corner. I noticed on my previous video, and I checked back again today, they are assembling a lot more Superchargers. These are the four kind of posts on a pedestal that has the cabinet, and they are assembling them here. And these look like they are V4s. I don't know if these are going to be used somewhere else or if they're going to be installing them here at Giga Texas, but it is neat to see that they are increasing the supercharger capacity here, or at least they're building more of them. Now, switching gears to a few other news items that I want to go into. First of all, the 2025 official proxy has been released from Tesla, and if you haven't got a chance to talk to your brokerage firms, make sure that you are registered with your shares so that you can vote. Now, there are 14 different agenda items. Some of them are more important than others, I would think, especially the CEO compensation package for Elon Musk, but there are other big agenda items, as you can tell by what I've been putting on the screen here, and I recommend that you look through that proxy, read through everything, and be prepared to vote your shares. Now, speaking of which, the 2025 shareholders meeting is coming up here at Giga Texas on the 6th of November. And that is going to be a big event. Not only are we going to be doing the shareholders meeting and doing the votes and calculating how that came out for this proxy statement, but also it looks like we are going to get some product demonstrations, perhaps specifically the version 3 of the Optimus Robot. And there's a lot of talk about that. There's some indications from Tesla that is in fact what's going to happen. So if you want to try to come here for the shareholders meeting, Tesla does have a link. I'll put it in the video description and here at the bottom of the screen for you to go to the Tesla Investor Relations and register your request to go into that raffle to come here for that shareholders meeting. Again, that's coming up on the 6th of November, and make sure you look through that proxy and register to get your ticket to come here, and hopefully I will see you here. I'm gonna register myself. I don't know if I'll be here, but I hope I am, because I want to see what's going on with the meeting and with the Optimus. So with all of that, let's get the drone in the air, fly around and see what Giga Texas looks like today, and I hope you have a great weekend.
If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. If you are considering purchasing Starlink, I would recommend that you use my referral link at the bottom of the screen. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga Texas. Well, good morning again here at Giga Texas, getting ready to start off the weekend. But before we get there, let's take a look around what is going on here on the west side. Bring the drone down here, kind of fly over the Cyber Tunnel. And as you can tell on the road directly ahead of us, there's not a lot of vehicles driving on it. There is no real production that I could tell today, but the outbound lot is very busy. And we'll see that here momentarily. I'm going to start here at the caisson. And there is a change that's going on down inside this large caisson. We also see some equipment kind of arrayed here on the ground just outside the concrete. And bring the drone up and position it so we can look down inside. And what we're going to see is that there is a change at the bottom. Looks like they are preparing, I don't know if it's for more tunneling or to kind of connect in some of these pipes, but as I zoom in, you'll see that there's like a frame here on the ground. You can see that smaller pipe that is on the right-hand side going into the caisson, and then it heads over underneath the highway to the other smaller caisson. And then here we can see that frame as they are kind of assembling it right now, and that larger pipe that heads to the south underneath Colorado River. So it is very interesting to see this level of construction. There's a lot of these smaller pipe segments all around waiting for installation as well. So continue to watch that and see what happens. While we're here also, I'm going to fly over to the southwest and show you there is a lot of activity here with deliveries, some of which are arriving, and then others with the yard trucks are heading over to the factory. In fact, some of this equipment that is being delivered here, and I'll give you a nice zoom in, is arriving at the 4680 structural pack section of the factory, and we'll see that here a little later. But I'll keep the zoom in. You can get a really good sense of the number of wooden crates, the big deliveries that are happening, and just a lot of activity going on here on this side of the site. You can tell there's other deliveries here. In fact, these I believe we will see specifically over at the structural pack section. Notice those large check marks and the kind of the markings on the crates. And again, this is a kind of a yard truck, so this is heading over towards the 4680, and we'll just keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, with the lighting, a great view of the rest of the equipment, and it looks like they are starting to stockpile more here as well. Some robotic assemblers here underneath the silver wrapping, waiting for their turn to move into the factory. A lot of materials off to the left, these large items wrapped in the green. Still not sure exactly what those are. You can see some other materials at the bottom of the screen. Now, as we get in a little closer, this is what these items look like. They appear to be a bunch of the same kind of item. They're the same size and shape. So maybe they're part of a larger piece of equipment or just a series of equipment. So again, I'll continue to watch that and we'll see where they end up. We have more items wrapped in that silver on the bottom left. Of course, the transformers along next to this white tent-like structure. And of course, the wooden crates that we saw. Here's a closer in view. You can tell that some of the items at the bottom are being lifted up and placed onto that trailer for the yard truck to take it over to the factory. And even more on that yard truck heading over in the motion over towards the 4680 cell portion of the factory. So I come up over the power lines. I'm going to reposition drone, bring it back down. The empty dirt section on the bottom of the screen is where the stamping presses headed off to Giga, Nevada. So they are all gone now. More materials here as we fly over this section, including cabinets that are used in the 4680 cell portion of the factory. And I wanted to stop here and show you the Superchargers that are being assembled. They look like they are 4 posts on that kind of black frame with the cabinet. And I was trying to look at the connectors just to be sure. They look like they're the normal NACS and connectors, so they're not the mega chargers. These are just large superchargers that are probably V4s, and we'll see where these are placed, but you can tell that they are assembling them right now. There's 4 groups of these, so that's 16 new superchargers. I did notice this V-type circuit breaker here at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if this is new to the site or if it's been relocated from the electrical switchyard, but it's the first time I've noticed that here. If you fly over these kind of white wrapped large boxes and other equipment in this fenced off section, we can see that there are mobile superchargers here. And this is just some of several that they have here at the site. And I don't know if they're going to be used here at Giga Texas or used for around the area when kind of the demand increases. We have seen that before with Starship launches. This is what the transformers on this side appear like, plus some of the other equipment and workshops. Not a lot of change there in the last couple of days. Now the outbound lot is very busy. We have a lot of vehicles, especially here in the center. The transport trucks are also very busy picking up the vehicles, and we can also tell that the test track is being used, the wash rack as well, the upper center, and more vehicles here on this part of the outbound lot. Plus, we see a lot of activity at the covered superchargers with many of the lights flashing of the vehicles. So the end-of-line facility and the outbound lot is very busy despite the fact that there appears to be no production today. And hopefully, or what we'll probably see over the weekend is a lot of these moved out, and then they will do the last big push next week ahead of the end of the quarter. And from all accounts, it looks like it's going to be a very good quarter. And for what's going on here at Giga Texas and the extended hours they've done in the last several weeks, hopefully we'll have a good result for Tesla. There is that wash rack, and you can tell that it is being used right now. Several vehicles waiting to go through. And then again, on this north side, another large section of the Model Ys, including some here on the far west side. I did notice more trucks that are arriving with materials, and this is a quick shot of that happening. And you can also see there's a new gate guard shack that they are going through. And that's probably because of this new intersection that is designed to allow the public to come in to go to that direct delivery center to pick up their vehicles. And as I maneuver the drone around, I just want to give you a nice shot across all of the outbound lots so you can see just how busy it is and how many vehicles need to be shipped off this weekend and get ready for the end of quarter, which is coming up less than 2 weeks away. The semi is here charging back up again on the bottom right. This is what the direct delivery center looks like today. And hopefully we'll see a big delivery event here at Giga Texas in the not too distant future as part of that end of the quarter. So let's cross over the highway and we'll resume on the other side. And we'll take a look at some very interesting activity that is going on here on this part of the site. Specifically, we can tell more of the cans for the 4680s are being recycled. There is a large number of them. And again, I don't know if this is that they are testing out some of that new equipment they've been installing, if they're doing something different, the 4680s. But there is a lot, and it has been continuing for those cans to be recycled. Now on the right-hand side of the screen, and now zooming in, you can tell that there are a lot of those deliveries of crates. One of them had just been moved inside, and this is about as good as a shot as I can get looking in when I arrived. And you can see some other equipment and work that's going on in the inside. Bring the drone back down, try to use the factory to shield the sun and give you some better look at this material. As I mentioned earlier, some of this was on that southwest side next to the white tent. And as I continue to maneuver the drone around, you'll recognize these crates with that large blue check mark and some of the markings on them as well. But it's definitely a lot of equipment being moved into this part of the factory. I'll kind of maneuver around just to give you a better view of where this is in relation to that platform and that equipment with those blue check marks. While I'm here also, I thought I would pop up to the roof, just show you where some of this material has been brought up by that crane. Some of these look like they are solar panel waiting for installation. Some of them are rack mounts, and then just some other equipment and crates that have been opened up. And that may be related to that new installation of the solar panels on the roof that are just kind of making that underline of the Tesla letters. As I mentioned, not really seeing very much as far as vehicles coming out of this ramp. and really not a lot of production, at least at the time that I was flying. I did notice that almost all of the vehicles now have been removed from that west main entrance. That was all kind of a display that was there for a big event about 2.5 weeks ago. The berm is continuing to see work with the trenching. Most of that starts about this point now and continuing to the south. We can see those trench boxes in place. A lot more of that material. Active trenching again, making some larger sections, and then continuing all the way to the south here. And as we pass over this one other section with those large trench boxes, I did notice a big change. And on my previous video, I showed you these I-beams being installed. Now we can see that it's kind of making a trapezoidal type shape emanating from that caisson. One of the large I-beams is still sticking well out of the ground on the right-hand side of the screen. But this is what that pattern looks like. And as we saw on the other side of the highway, that caisson had the concrete tunnel segment already in place, and it came over to this caisson for connection. But we've also seen some water in there, so maybe they're having some water issues. As I continue to maneuver the drone around, you can see what that fork statue looks like. And just on the other side of River Road, this large excavation that is continuing, the large trench box, and the work that is underway. It looks like there's also some pipes coming out, so they're most likely pumping water out of that excavation. And all along the south side of River Road has this excavation work underway, more of these very large trench boxes and more excavation around this section. And we see some auger drill bits right at the center of the screen on the ground, more of the dirt and that work that's on that right-hand side. I did also notice that there is some excavation work going on here next to the cooling plant. And it looks like trench boxes, and it's kind of emanating from the River Road and then towards the southeast corner of the factory. So a lot of work with the trenching, some conduit, and maybe some water pipes on this part of the site. So bring the drone up, give you a nice, great view of the overall factory with the great lighting and downtown Austin in the upper left. And as we continue to maneuver to the east, not only is that water detention pond that's lined filled, but I wanted to show you the activity that's continuing on River Road's extension, which is at the bottom of the screen. You can see where it will connect over to River Road at the south side of the factory. But as I turn the drone around, we're going to see that that earthwork is continuing here next to where this intersection is. Plus, we see some excavation work for conduit. So what may be happening is that they are preparing to connect Robotic Avenue on the right with River Road on the left with this intersection. And possibly also, maybe they'll begin the next phase of road construction, which will head off through the trees over towards the river and then up towards the cathode plant. But this is what it looks like right now, a nice close-in view of that trenching conduit and concrete vaults that are in place, and some of that conduit that's laid around next to the trenching that is still underway. As we pass the multi-level parking garage, I wanted to show you this staging yard continues to grow with a lot of pipe segments, some of which are still being manufactured or assembled over on the east side in some of the workshops. And we have seen those before. I'll try to do that another video, and I'll get out closer to those so you can see all that activity. This staging yard just to the south of the parking garage is continuing to see pipe segments and concrete segments accumulate. And as we get closer to the factory as well, I'll zoom in and we'll get a nice view of what is going on the entire east side of the factory. Some of the equipment that is on the ground waiting to be moved inside. And some of that is white and red painted, which is usually associated with production equipment, but we'll continue to watch that. The small temporary platforms are still busy getting equipment inside. And this one has that large trash chute and those bins. So that's because they are unpacking a lot of those crates that they've been moving inside for the assembly of the production lines, specifically for the Cybercab. As we continue to maneuver towards the north, we'll pass that secondary main entrance. You can see castings on the ground just on the inside and more of the construction that's going on nearby. And then at this temporary platform, looks like the crane has been moved away. So maybe, at least for right now, the amount of equipment going inside has come to an end. But we'll continue to monitor that. Many castings next to the baghouse filtration plant and the melt center. And a nice orange Cybertruck there as well. And as we continue to fly to the north, nice view of this north casting rack mount handling and storage yard, plus some of those bumper stands on the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to bring the drone back up over the power lines, and I wanted to give you a quick look at what is going on at the north end of the factory and this casting, handling, and sorting lot. The first thing that I wanted to show you is this excavation work that is continuing. This is for more conduit. We can see some of the bundles on the ground, and the excavation looks like it's going to that concrete vault and then paralleling the highway, or the Tesla road, along that south side. This is what the north end of the paint shop looks like today, with more of those paint stands and also the body dollies that are used to move them around within the factory. And it's a nice close look straight down at what that appears like here today. And now let's get ready to go up and take a look at what's going on at the Megapacks and the electrical switchyard. It does look like there's more work that is underway here at this control trailer on the north, kind of on that platform. And with the lighting, you can see into that storage container just next to the fence line. And it looks like they are continuing to do more of the cable connections there. On the south side of the switchyard, another good view of this connecting tunnel between the two underground vaults. Also, where we can see the red kind of concrete that goes over the conduit that emanates from the south side of that vault, two of those control trailers, and then provisions for a third already underway. And we'll see if they do that connection here as they continue to build out the switchyard. Speaking of which, two of the hopefully eventually 3 slabs and catch basins for the transformers have been poured and definitely ready for the next level of construction. To do that, they need all these footings in. They've been doing the auger drilling, putting in rebar cages to support each of the footings, and many of them are now poured. If you look to the upper right, you'll see what this is going to look like once they start assembling that steel. It'll be pretty much a mirror image of what's on the upper right. More of the rebar cages under construction here, and as I pull away, just a great view of how much more they have to do on this expansion to make that ready to kind of mirror what's going on with the switchyard. As I maneuver towards the east, I've noticed that there was this continued concrete double pipe segments being installed coming over to the water detention pond for drainage. Looks like they are now putting gravel on top of the pipes. That'll help keep them from floating when there's a lot of water. And they'll just continue to assemble these and head over towards the Cortex 2 building on the right. And this will be part of that water management system for this entire area. As I pull away, this gives you a good idea of all of the earthwork that is underway on the west side of the building, and also what the west side of the building looks like. Some of the downspouts for the drainage from the roof have been installed on both the east and the west sides. We'll get the chance to see that a little bit more closely here on the west side as we continue to maneuver the drone. The south side of the building is mostly finished with that stain work. We do see one of the transformers has been installed next to that opening with the blue wall segments. You can see that green box on the ground. And then as I bring the drone back in, we can see that the slab on the inside has been poured, especially through this large opening. And I'll try to give you a zoom in so we get a better view, but you can tell that it extends quite a ways into the facility, and they're using those riding trowels as the concrete has just been poured. So great progress here, at least on the west side, and it does appear that they are moving towards the north on the from the south side. And again, those downspouts have been mounted onto the walls, and that is to do the roof drainage. Here we can see more work on the perimeter grade beam, some of that yellow moisture barrier, and additional work on the inside preparing for the ground slab, as well as putting in more of that textured coating along the walls for the exterior. As we pass the trash chute on the left, I wanted to just give a quick look at what is going on here on this side of the site. And we see more of the concrete pipe segments, more of the dirt that has been stored here and is being used as they do the work on the inside of the facility, and also some gravel on the right. More of the Keystone workshop here at the bottom with a lot more materials, deliveries of roofing insulation underway, plus the crane busy moving it up onto the roof to pre-position it for the work that is yet to become. And also through these open doors and the lighting, you can see how much of the ground slab is still needing work. And they're doing some of the pipe and utility trenching, and also compacting some of the dirt inside. On this side of the site, we have these kind of frames. I believe these are going to be mounted on the roof and will be able to support large square items. As I've mentioned before, I don't know if these are the Vapco fan units that have been stored for several years on the west side. They generally look the right shape, but we'll have to monitor that and see for sure. But a great overall view of the Cortex 2 facility and looking back to the main factory. So bring the drone back down through this opening, more of the trenching, some of the pipe work, some of the utilities, and a view on the inside of where they are still preparing all of this for eventual concrete for that ground slab. I did notice here on the right hand side of the screen in this staging yard, we have these white pipes, and this is definitely new, and I'll have to continue to monitor that to see where those are installed, if we can tell, inside the building. And of course, more work here on this kind of lane on the west side, and you can see where that the grade of that material where the eventual slab will go is much higher than it is on the rest of the building. Here's a nice close-in view of the roof, the work that is underway to continue the installation of the insulation and the waterproof membranes. And the fact that they're more than 50% now, they're probably close to 60-65% of the roof completed. And as I continue to maneuver around, this gives you a great look at the activity going on today. So I'm going to pull away and we'll kind of maneuver the drone around, and we'll resume closer to the east side of the cathode building. One of the areas that I've been keeping an eye on is what's going on with the crash testing facility, especially since we're getting close to possibly having the Model Y Performance coming out here, maybe the lower cost vehicle or the Cybercab. All of those are going to need crash testing for certification. So I'm kind of watching out for that. Now, what is interesting is the number of vehicles here with the car covers on it. They're using tires to help keep them from blowing off. And it looks like there's about 10 or so of these vehicles now all undercover. So a very interesting development here. You can see more vehicles along that fence line, and there are variety. Some of them are Model 3s, Model Ys. And as we continue to maneuver around, a little view of the inside here of the crash testing section. And really not a lot that we could see here today. The biggest thing that is different is the number of vehicles that are under the covers on that west side of the facility. And there's more vehicles here on the north side as well. But great to see that they are continuing to be very busy here, active with that crash testing. More of the containers on the east side of the cathode building, still waiting for assembly inside. And of course, more of the transformers here on this kind of smaller staging yard next to the cell testing lab. So I'm going to bring the drone up to a much higher altitude, try to give you a overall view of the entire site, most of the east side, looking across the factory to that west side where we spent some of the early parts of the video, and of course the die shop and cathode building, the Cortex 2, the mega packs, and that extension of the Switchyard in the right hand side of the screen. So that'll bring it to a close here today and this week at Giga Texas. We know that it's going to be a big quarter, and just looking forward to seeing just how big it's going to be. And I know they've been doing a lot of work here at Giga Texas and all of the other factories. So thank you very much for watching, and I do appreciate it, and have a wonderful weekend. Take care.